Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Danielle, aka Stitcherista here on YouTube, and today I'm going to be showing you how I do the loop method with one strand to end my thread. I did a video yesterday on how to start with the loop method, and that was courtesy of Caterpillar Cross Stitches video. Now I did it a little bit different than they did, and I'm going to show you because I'm going to start the thread, do a couple stitches, and then I'm going to pretend we're going to end the thread. Now the way that I end the thread is a little bit different also than what other people I've seen on YouTube do. I encourage you to find your own way because you'll see I kind of adapted this method to me yesterday, just playing around with it. So we're just going to pretend that I'm going to start stitching here. And what I do is I will put my needle, this is to start it with the loop method. I will put my needle like one square over from where I'm going to start stitching. And I leave a tail. And then we're going to pretend that this is the square right here, right next to it, where I'm going to start stitching. So I come up. Now I did this yesterday differently. Okay, I'm going to do it. You can start in the bottom or the top. Yesterday I started at the top. So we're going to start at the top right of the square that you're going to do the loop in. Come down into that same hole and you make a little loop. See how there's a little loop there? Come down in the bottom left with your needle. Put your needle through the loop. Pull that and then put your needle again through the top right to kind of pull that loop to the back. And I give it like a little tug so it can, you know, anchor itself there. And then we're going to do just 4 stitches. And how I do my cross stitching is I will do the first leg and then I will come back to complete the stitches. And how I normally do it is I'm going to do 5 stitches and then. Now this is 18 count Aida. I use a size 28 needle, and this is 1 strand of Sulky, which is equivalent to 1.5 strands of DMC. Okay, so now you could go right back up here. What I do is I'll go back to the beginning of the line. And when I complete that first stitch, and then I go up into the second one, I'll usually park my needle, and I usually have a needle minder here, but that's when I cut off that tail. Now, someone had asked me, do I have a bunch of tiny little tails on the back? What I do is I will pull it taut and clip it. I don't know if you can, because the light is casting a shadow. I will pull it taut and clip it as close as I can to the fabric. See how you can't even see it? It's a minuscule amount of thread on the back. It really is. And you're not going to be able to see, in my opinion, those little tiny tails on the back. You're just not. I stitched all of this yesterday down here using this method, and it was fine. So let's say we're going along, and you decide you want to end your thread. We're going to pretend that I hardly have any thread left. And we're going to end the thread at this last one. So I wait to end it on the front with the loop method. Like I said, I do it differently than other videos I've seen. So what I do, I'm going to end it on this last stitch, completing this last X. I will come up in the top left, go back down in that top left to make the loop, go take my needle I will go up in the bottom right, stick my needle through that loop, go down in the top left to pull the loop to the back. See how it's to the back? I'll give it like a little tug. And then I'll come over one square. I'll come up just right here. And I'll snip it. I'll snip that thread. Now, the difference between me and somebody else I saw do this, and it's anchored. It's not coming out. Somebody else that I saw do it, they like came up like right here and like buried the thread in between the threads of the Ada, because I think they knew they were going to stitch over that. They were doing a full coverage piece. So this is how I stitched this entire red section down there yesterday, and it worked just fine, and I never had to flip my work over. That is the genius part about it, is that you don't have to flip your work over. So I hope that helped to show you how you can begin and end with one strand, a loop method. Now, I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to flip the work over because I have my tripod clamped to this. So I can't flip it over without flipping over the entire contraption. So I'm going to pause the video and flip the work over and get you guys back on here so you can see what the back of this looks like. Okay, here is the back. You can see there's a teensy little tail right there, right? And I think that was where I began the loop, but you can't see when I ended it, you can't see it, right? You can't see any tail. There's nothing coming out. This method is, I'm so glad that that person, Lois, she showed me the first video, directed it to my attention on Instagram. So that is what the back looks like. It's anchored. It's not coming out. So I hope this gives you some inspiration to try this on your own if you are using one strand of thread. So as always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.